his dad. That's what happened.
You like my dad?
Yeah, his dad was a. I can see why these two boys are so great. His father was this absolutely a peach of a guy. If you never got a chance to meet his dad, and his dad was tough. He was a tough guy, and he would tell them, in other words, where, what to do and how to act, and how to play the game and respect it, and the etiquette of it and the rules and everything. And his dad, and it doesn't surprise me that you turned out this way. I guarantee you, not at all.
That's the one thing that's so great about the game of golf. And I remember when I was 22 years old playing with you, and I look now at the young players we have here today, and all the players we've seen coming through the game league. That's kind of how we teach each other, is we pass the baton down, and you just mentor play.
Didn't do much when I was on tour in the beginning, late '60s. If we had a couple of buddies or something, we'd help them out a little bit. But we didn't give out too much information. We had to play against the guy. But also, we didn't have all these teachers either. We didn't have people that you could go to and he could look at you and correct you and do this or change your swing and what have you. There are players that are field players, and there are players that are mechanical players. I think mechanical players need help because someone can watch them and put them back in that.
With video.
But not field players. Field players, you get closed, you get open, you put your feet together. I mean, when I wanted to put a lot of spin on a wedge, I put my feet together. I would put my heels together. That way, you see, here. Huh. In other words, I did that because I could swing twice as hard to go a short distance. When I put my feet farther apart with a wedge, I'd have too much movement. And I wanted to work.
Do that again.
That looks like Jimenez, doesn't it? What's his name? He does that stuff. But this is what I did with a wedge. So anytime that I wanted to say the ball, see, because anytime they're feeding that flag in front of the green, you got to go past it to bring it back. You understand? You can't go in there and bounce in. See? So we put them together. You see what I'm saying? Now people seem to think that to hit a draw. In other words, to hit a draw, when we put wedges in there. A lot of times I'd hit a wedge and say it was behind a bunker on a par 5. And I did this a lot of times. In these old tiny golf courses, they always had 2 bunkers in the front, but you had an opening. Well, I'd aim at the corner bunker on the right, you see, and then I would bring the ball in between them to sneak in there and let the ball go sideways into the flag.
Now that's a little sand wedge you're hitting right there, and you hooked that ball about 10 yards.
Well, I didn't hook it very much. I mean, if it's real severe, see, we can put a little more on it, and see, and it'll go right over to the flag.
But that's a lot. But let me tell you, that's a lot of spin for a lofted club. That's hard to do.
Well, it's not that much. Also, if you notice, I did that with an open stance. See, people seem to think that you open your stance to fade and you close your stance to hook, and it's just the opposite. In other words, if you want to fade the ball and make it go the other way, then you close it. And the reason for it, now as you can come into it, you see, now you can make it yank over to the right a little bit. See, when they sneak it over to the right. But see, I don't use irons anymore. I have all hybrids. You understand? I have enough. They used to make a joke about, you carried all those head covers over there. And they said, I have so many over there. See, I've got 6, 5, 4, 7. I got 7. My thing looks like a bouquet of flowers. But now, see, this is my 6. This is my 6 iron. You see. Now, you notice the dance? See, I could have run Fred Astaire right out of town on the golf.
You mean this deal?
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before.
Well, I learned to have a no choke stroke. This is one of the reasons that I did pretty good against Jack, because I scared him a little bit. And I scared him because I never choked. You understand? I could always hit the shot the way I wanted to. And the reason for it is because I was always moving. And people that are moving, they can hurt you. If you stand still, on the Marine Corps and I was boxing, you always got to move. And see, so I did it in golf, and the reason for it is because I know you're supposed to play the ball back in the center, towards the center of your stance. And I could not line the ball up there. So I lined the ball up forward, here. But I started open. I mean, you'd read articles about it, said he plays a fade, he opens it. I never hit a fade in my life. I pushed it to the target. You know what I'm saying? Like a push. It was straight. It was a push. It was never a fade. So what I did is I would aim down the left side of this to see where the stand. But by the time I did this, see, I'm closed. And that's what I did. See, I'd start here, look one time, and there it is. See, now I can stand here, and I can, again, 1, 2, 3, see?
Well, let me ask you this.
Huh?
Let me ask you this. It's a serious question. I think the reason that you handled Jack and Arnold and Gary and all the guys is when you got on the tee, I think it's the same thing Tiger used to do. You created your own atmosphere. You created your own environment. You wanted it to be fun. You threw the snake at him at Marion, but you created the way it was going to be. But Jack didn't like that.
Well, but it came from confidence. And see, finally Jack admitted that this year in Houston when we were doing a round table.
Yeah.
And they asked him the question. They said, what about this guy? He says, why did you have so much trouble with him? He said he had so much confidence. He says, and when you get a guy with a lot of confidence, he has no fear of hitting a shot. You see. So it was same as the low ball. In other words, even when I wanted to hit it low, you see. See, I could every shot, even the chip shots. If you notice, you know how guys will stand there and they're going to hit a chip and they go. And then I wake up, and damn, Kyle, he's still there. He hadn't hit yet. See, I wake up, you know. So what happens is, see, I did the same thing. I'd look at what I wanted to do, and I wanted to go right over this little mat right here, and I'd stand there, and they're little bitty. You see that? See that? They're little bitty. But they're the same
That actually
thing.
didn't go over the mat. That
Oh, okay. There's a movement.
Just saying.
You see. Look at this.
Nice.
Well, this is like zoysia. I'm getting under it. Huh?
Yeah, those mats.
Then if you want to go, if you got 180 with a sand wedge, you go that way. See that?
Yeah, you can hit a runner. You can hit a roller.
Huh? I killed a guy one time. He was an 8 handicapper. I'll play you with a sand wedge. And I did. I killed him. But any of these shots, you see, you walk into it here.
Give him a breakfast sandwich.
Okay? Now listen. I don't want you to get crazy today, but I'm going to help you a hell of a lot more than Palmer's been helping you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, man, get this yellow bee away from me.
Is that a
Give
great
me a
outfit?
shot. Give me a shot.
Go ahead. See it.
Come on, baby. Let me
Hey, Matt, you got super Matt. You got Lee Trevino's wedge.
Yeah, this is it right here, baby.
Did you see the rust on it?
Nice. You got,
Yeah.
you got some serious lead tape on here.
That's got a little Mexican architecture to it. That's it. Engineer, baby.